In only 7 months, I went from charging $5 per video on Fiverr to making $10,000 per month at the age of 15 years old. So in this video, I'm gonna leak the roadmaps that I took to charge higher prices and charge up to $7,000 for one video. And now, before you ask, I'm not gonna talk about outreach, portfolio, your editing, because I've covered these things in previous videos. And there are 3 ideas that we'll cover in this video. So everything in this video, you will be able to apply instantly and charge higher prices. Starting with the first idea, negotiating. Now, most editors break their frame completely and look like scammers if the client doesn't accept their price instantly. They said that they usually charge 1,000, but when he said 500, in 3 seconds, they halved the price, which first of all makes them get paid half as much, and it makes the client never trust any prices that they say in the future. I can tell you from experience, when a client negotiates you down and succeeds with it, he will always try to negotiate you down for every video to come. So even if you go from $400 to $300 that you like, oh, it's only $100, I don't care, you're never gonna be able to raise your prices in the future with that one client. Because when you say, yo bro, sorry, $300 is too little for me right now, I'm gonna have to charge 500, he's gonna say like, 500 is a bit too much, I cannot afford that. And wait to see what they say. And they're gonna say like, oh, there's no problem bro, we can stop working together. And then he says like, well, I can go to 350 and keeps negotiating you like that until he gets you down. Because he knows that it will work on you. It has worked before when he said a lower price, you broke frame and you just accepted the price he said. Now, I'm not gonna tell you to stop working with any client that cannot afford you by like $5, because sometimes you say $400, and yeah, you're actually okay with going down to 300. So let me show you how to still work with the client. You don't have to drop him completely, but also hold your frame. And don't look like a scammer. Allow yourself to raise prices in the future, and don't even decrease your prices. This is a concept that Alex Hormozi, one of the most famous millionaires ever, talks about a lot in sales, which is, if you change your price, you're gonna also have to change your terms. So to showcase what I mean, let's redo that conversation again. I'm gonna charge $1,000 for this video. Shay, I cannot do that. Can we do 500 instead? Sorry bro, 400 is outside of my budget. But you said that you want 4 videos a month, correct? Yeah, I want to upload 4 videos a month. So I would assume that your budget for video editing is $2,000 per month. Is that correct? Yep, my budget is $2,000 per month. Well, how about we still do $1,000 per video, but we just do 2 videos a month instead. And that way, you have time to focus on other stuff in the channel. You can upload fairer videos if you want between these 2 videos, but you gotta make sure that you upload 2 banger videos per month. And also that way, we can do $1,000 per video with the $2,000 per month budget. Would you be opposed to that? And now he might say, 2 videos a month edited in your style, I feel like it's enough. I can do 2 fairer videos that I edit myself or hire another editor for, but that works. And that way, you have turned a no, you have turned $500 to $1,000. By just talking, doing no extra work, not improving your editing, not doing anything of that, just changing your pricing, changing how you talk, made you charge higher prices, which is gonna be the theme of this video. Everything in this video you can apply instantly and you will be able to charge higher prices. But he might also reject it. He might say, oh, I really want to do 4 videos a month. In which case you don't say, okay, sorry, we will not be able to work together, fuck off, and you just lose the client. You don't say that, even though when he says no, you continue negotiating. The sale is not over. And by the way, like, this is not a bad thing selling people. People just hate the word sales. But basically what you're doing is that you're trying to find a middle ground where both of you will be happy. So right now he might reject it and you're gonna say, oh yeah, I understand that completely. You want to upload 4 videos a month, you want to be consistent, have like some exponential growth on the channel, I understand that. Well, how about this? The styles that you're currently looking for, I charge $1,000 per video for. Because it takes a long time, it has a lot of animations, and it's overall complex. How about we do this style of video instead, and we charge $500 for it? So you basically lower the editing. So you make the video, instead of taking 5 days to make, you make it take only 3 or 2 days to make. This is off topic, but you want the editing to still be good in the intro, so you can use it in your portfolio and post it on Twitter. But everything after the intro, you can just like lower the editing, and YouTubers don't even watch videos like 30 seconds in. So nobody cares how many zooms you did later in the video, nobody cares about the animations you did later in the video. You can just decrease those to take less time on the video, if he's okay with it, and have more time to work with other clients. But right now, what we did is that we followed Alex Hormozi's advice. When we changed the price, we changed the term. So we went, okay, I'm gonna be able to do 500, but let's do this style of editing instead. That way, first of all, you're not a scammer. If you go to buy an apple, for example, and the guy who sells them says, oh, they cost $5 per apple, and then you say, oh, this is outside of my budget, okay, this is okay, see ya. and they say like, oh, we can do it for $3, and they say it's still outside of my budget, and they say I can give it only for you for $1 per apple. What is he doing? He basically scamming you. He basically said a random number and started decreasing it to make you buy. So in the future, you no longer trust that guy's prices and you don't respect him, and it's just a bad look for him. But if he said instead, well, the apples are indeed $5. I cannot change the price of that. But instead, you could buy an orange for $1. That way, he's not a scammer. It's just a different product. He changed the terms. Therefore, he's allowed to change the price. In the same way, the client is not gonna view you as that you're just changing the price. He's gonna understand that this is a different type of video. This is something different than the $1,000 per video. Therefore, it has different pricing. Like even truthfully, you could do this if you're gonna do the same exact style. But just give him a reason. I would recommend that you lower the style. That way, you also get paid the same amount. So just for you, so you get paid more money. But even if you just say a reason and you don't go through with it, if you say, okay, we can lower the style of editing, and you don't lower the style of editing, at least that way you have given him a reason. And that will set a better frame for the entirety of the work life that you're gonna have with him. And he might say, no, I really want to keep this style. And he might also reject it. He might say, no, I want to keep the same style of editing 4 times a month at $500. In which case, you can tell him again, you don't leave him. You change the terms again. You say something like, oh, well, I understand that completely, but the footage is super long. It's actually gonna take me half of the time to just cut down the footage. Since you already know the footage because you recorded it, how about you cut the footage each time and send it to me pre-cut? That way, I can still do the video, but it will take me way less time. Therefore, I will be able to do it for $500. You change the terms. Right now, instead of getting the video and having to cut it, you get it pre-cut. It takes you less time. Therefore, you can go down to $500 per video, while charging still the same amount, not lowering your price, and not breaking your frame and looking like a scammer, and still getting paid the same. If you decrease the amount of videos per month, it's gonna take you less time. If you lower the style of editing, it's gonna take you less time. If you get the video pre-cuts, it's gonna take you less time. So your price hasn't actually changed. Your price is still the same, but you're changing the terms around it. And by just starting to do this, you're gonna be able to charge way higher prices without changing anything else, your portfolio, your outreach, anything. By just negotiating better, you're going to be able to charge higher prices. And by the way, if you like this segment about sales, I have a full masterclass only about sales and how to charge higher prices inside of my community. You can find the link in the description. And I made this community until the end of September, $99 per month only, just so I can win the school games and go meet Alex Hormozi, the guy that I was talking about. He has a competition, and if I charge more than $99, which was the plan, I plan to charge $500 for it. But that way, I wouldn't qualify for the competition and I wouldn't be able to meet him. So I've only made it $99. After the competition has ended, it will go back to the normal price. So if you're watching this video right now, you can go ahead and join it. And if you're one of the next 16 people who join, you're gonna also get a one-to-one call with me. This offer will be gone forever after the competition, so you can click the link in the description before the 16 spots run out. So right now that you know how to negotiate your prices, how much should you actually price? Most editors just decide a random number on call. They're like 500, and they just go ahead with it. It might be too high or too low for the client, and then in the future they regret it and they're like, I should have charged less or I should have charged more. So I'm gonna walk through the frameworks that I teach all of the editors I coach to follow. So Alex Hormozi, when he was talking about other businesses, and every 5 sales that you make, you increase that number a bit, and you keep increasing it every 5 sales by 20% until you reach a point where no one is buying, and then you decrease it a bit, and then you have found that sweet spot. The problem with that in video editing is that you cannot have 5 clients. That shit is gonna take forever to raise your prices every 5 clients. At most, you can get a client every week, so that would take like a whole year to raise your prices by 4x. That's a long time. I want you to make that amount of progress in basically a few months. So the thing with video editing is that it's like a real business, but the difference is that you're targeting wells. You don't have a lot of clients, you don't make a lot of sales, but the sales that you make pay you thousands of dollars per month. Therefore, the way that I do it is that I count every client as basically the 5 clients that Alex Hormozi was referencing. So let's say for your first ever video, you charge $90 for it. Because if the client cannot afford $90, then he's super dog shit and he's gonna traumatize you. And also $90 looks like it's way less than 100. It's like the famous thing where like they bought $10 and nobody wants to buy it, but then they bought $9.99 and everyone wants to buy it. In the same way, $90 is just $10 less than 100, but it looks way less for the clients. So you start with $90. Now we have a client for $90. I call that a backup client, because right now, whatever client rejects you, you still have a client in the back end that you can go work with. So that gives you the freedom for your next client to tell him $200 per video, and don't care if he rejects it or not, because if he rejects it, then you have this client, and you basically keep climbing in that way. When you have the 200 clients, you go instantly to 300. I recommend the editors that I coach to go up by $100 each time because it's way faster than like $50 or 20%. And you're gonna find that most YouTubers really don't care about the difference between $300 and $500. So right now, I want you to completely forget about, oh, how much could this client pay me? Oh, he looks rich or he looks poor. I want you to forget about that and just keep pricing one up each time. And by the way, when you find a new client, for example, you go from 200 to 300. For this old client, you basically drop him, but you do not just say like, oh, I will not be able to work with you no more and drop him. You tell him, yo, I will start charging $400 per video. Most likely he says, bro, what? You used to do 200 and now you want to do 400? That's absurd. And that way you have dropped him, which is not a problem because you have a client for $300. But there's also a chance, which is, by the way, way higher than you expect, that he actually accepts it. And now we have jumped two prices at the same time. You went from $200 to $300 and $400 at the same time. And when you get $400, you go to the $300 client and you tell him, yo, I'm gonna have to change from $300 to $500. And you keep climbing that way and you will be able to basically charge more and more until you basically make $10,000 per month. And even after that, you can keep charging higher and higher prices. But I recommend after $10,000 per month, either like stay at that level or you find a new business that is more scalable. And now you know about outreach, video editing, how to talk with clients, sales, and you basically have a lot of skills that will help you in the new business. And you also have a lot of capital from video editing that you can invest. For example, you can start your own channel and automatically start hiring an editor and a thumbnail designer, and you know about editing, YouTube, hiring, sales, you know, all of this stuff. So you can jump to a new business model after you learn all of these skills and hit $10,000 per month. But that's basically how we charge as a video editor. You start with $90 and you keep raising it one up at a time, $100 each time until you make $10,000 per month. Now there's a caveat to this, which I'm gonna cover really quick, which is when a client doesn't accept like the one up price, but he is useful for your portfolio. So he has either subscribers, gets a lot of views, has insane editing, or is super popular to someone who's like a famous guy, a famous singer, a famous streamer, whatever. In which case you can negotiate it down in the ways that we have covered. So maybe like even going down to $200. Oh, okay, actually looking back at it, your videos are gonna take way less time, so we can do 200 for it. Of course, you give the reason, like we covered, you change the terms, but you can go down and work with him for one video to bottom on your portfolio. But the starting prices that you tell him like the one up price, to keep things simple. So you keep saying like the one up price, and at some point, if you really want to work with a client and he rejects the price, you can lower it and work with him and then go back to raising it up when you have a better portfolio later on by working with him. So now we have covered negotiating and pricing, but both of these points don't matter at all if we don't use the third point as well. With the editors that I coach, first of all, we go through their financial situation, their clients, stuff like that. After I cover everything that they have to do, I tell them the next steps to achieve it. Like you need to do 1, 2, 3, fix your portfolio, do this method of outreach, send this message to this exact client, and tell him that you're raising prices on him, whatever. And then I tell them that for new videos, I want you to charge this amount of money. And a lot of times they tell me like, oh wait, that's too high. No client has ever accepted $500 from me. And right now it became automatic to me that the first question that I ask them is, how many times have you said price and have been rejected? And I can tell you from the amount of times that I have said this to editors, most of them say $500. No, I actually haven't said like $500 at all. But when I say $300 for clients, they try to negotiate me down, and I feel like they cannot pay $500. So if I said $500, they're not even gonna try to negotiate me down. And they assume that the clients would choose for that, like, oh, 300 is too much, let's go with 200. But they don't understand two things. First of all, that experience that they're talking about has happened like at max 2 times, but they get scared from these 2 times, and now they're scared to charge higher prices, so they stay at the same price. And also, clients will negotiate you no matter the price. There's a certain client that I have worked with, and I really wanted to work with him because he would be good for my portfolio. So I started with $1,100, so $1,100. He said, oh, so that's kind of too much. Can we go 900? And again, like I changed the terms, and then I went with 900 because I really wanted to work with him. I wanted to put him in my portfolio. And then after I put him on my portfolio for the next video, I told him, yo, sorry bro, like these videos take me way longer than I expected with the first video, which is basically giving a reason why I'm increasing my prices. And I told him, from now on, I'm gonna charge $2,100. So that's more than double what he paid me. And now we're not talking about doubles of like going from $50 to $100. We're going from $900 to $2,100. So you would imagine that like he didn't accept $1,100. He would say like, oh sorry bro, like 2,100 is way above my pricing, which is what I expected. I wanted to drop him basically. But guess what he said to me? He said the same exact line. 2,100 is kind of high. Can we go $1,900? He said the same exact line. They're just trying to negotiate you down no matter your pricing. It's not actually about your pricing. They will try to negotiate you down no matter what. So in that case, I didn't even like try to change the terms because like right now I was trying to drop him. So I told him, sorry bro, 2,100 is the least I can charge for this video that took me this amount of time. And he accepted it. He said that $1,100 is too much for him, but he accepted $2,100. So right now if you feel like your clients cannot afford this price, most likely they can. They just act broke or try to negotiate you down to first of all charge less, and also so you never raise prices in the future. Some of the editors that I coach, I literally ask them like, right now with your clients you can charge 400 for your next client, and they say like 400. I've never been able to charge 400. I tell them like, well, how many times have you said 400 have been rejected? They say like, oh, like 5 times, which first of all like is not a lot. They say it as like a lot of like, yeah bro, it's impossible. But of course you're gonna get rejected 5 times. You only need 1 client. But even when they say like 5 creators rejected them, I tell them, and this has happened like so many times. Show me these 5 creators that rejected your price, and then they go to the DMs and they're like the first creator, oh actually this creator, I just did a trial for him and he didn't accept it. Okay, so that's 4. We go to the next guy. Oh well, this guy, he actually didn't reject it, he accepted it, but then he negotiated me down after 1 video. Okay, so that's 3 guys that rejected it. Of these 3 didn't actually reject it, we just broke frame. And from these 2 clients, he realizes that he said the price $500 1 time and been rejected. Which by the way, like I'm not blaming them. I used to do the same shit. I used to get rejected 1 time and just assume that like my editing is not worth it or you cannot get paid this much and make all of these assumptions from 1 experience. But because this is a business, you have to think about it logically. And most times you will discover that you haven't actually set the price you want to charge at all. So the third and most important thing, the thing that makes all of the editors that I coach the most amount of income quickly, is that I force them to say the higher prices a lot of times. And by asking more, you get accepted more. This whole video is basically 1 model out of 8 and 1 masterclass out of 3 where I talk about pricing. So that 4 masterclass is about how to charge higher prices, besides also a masterclass about your editing and how to improve it, and a full masterclass about outreach where I cover 4 outreach methods that I don't talk about publicly. If you want to gain access to all of this and also go on a one-to-one call with me, there are 16 out of 50 spots left by the time of recording this video. By the time that it's uploaded, it's probably even less than that. So you can click the link in the description and join before it closes. So go click that right now and good luck.